Filming is underway for Ghostbusters 2020, and we have one of the most action-packed months ever with news, including pictures from the set, info about a new cast member joining the film, and a GB original formally announcing his participation? Well, maybe. Let's jump right into things and get all Ghostbusters 2020 news from August 2019. Hey everyone, this is Matthew from Nerd News Today, and welcome to all of the Ghostbusters 2020 news from August 2019. This is our 8th video since we started doing this series back in January, with at least another dozen more to look forward to. With less than a year away from the release date, August has been one of the busiest months, with a multitude of info from a variety of sources. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like this video and subscribe to us to get all of these monthly reports, as well as all of our other videos. So with that out of the way, let's get started with the news. The month began on August 1st with a pic from Jason Reitman's Instagram, with 2nd AC Rodrigo Carmaco holding up a giant clapboard that doesn't tell us much, but is very cool to look at. The clapper has the Rust City logo, which has been the not-so-secret filming title, and also notes they're filming this particular scene at 48 frames per second, double the speed of how the typical film is presented as the final product, usually at 24 frames per second. But really my question here is, what's going on in the background? Is that somebody walking around the set with a proton pack, or is it just my imagination? And while we're on the topic of Jason Reitman's Instagram, let's just run through all of the different posts he had this month related to Ghostbusters in one spot, just because they're so scattered, and there's really not a ton of news on these, and there is some tidbits that do come back to stories we'll get to later in the month, so let's just pick things up, starting with August 12th, when Jason posted a pic of a stop sign dripping with green ectoplasm, and titled this picture Original Recipe. So it looks like a ghost is loose somewhere and causing some trouble, and they've got the slime to prove it. August 15th gave us special effects technician Michael Gibney laying down some smoke for a scene in a rural area. August 17th gave us Jason and cinematographer Eric Steelberg in what was likely the same field, except during the daytime, or a similar one like it. August 19th gave us a look at one of the grips, whose name is Sam, although his last name is currently not on IMDb, so I can't give him a full credit, but hey, there's Sam. On August 21st, camera op Craig Anderl was seen hibernating with some equipment. On August 22nd, Jason posted a pic of production designer Francois Adouet lugging some steps around. And in other news, I still cannot pronounce Francois' last name. Then at the end of the month, Jason posted this cryptic picture of some wood that looks like it's from the side of a house with a yellow stripe painted across it. Is this the home of one of the original Ghostbusters? Who knows, but if you're not following Jason Reitman yet on Instagram, I highly recommend that you do. And I also commend him for posting so many pictures of his team and not just making it all about himself. Now back to the news, but it's once again actually a photo from Instagram, as user Holistic Mashed Potatoes, great name by the way, posted this pic from the set where a familiar Ghostbusters foe is making his face known once more. The Staypuft Marshmallow Man has an advertisement on the side of a building, meaning that the tasty treat is still available, despite the bad press he must have gotten after the giant Marshmallow Man attack over 30 years ago in New York City. But at the end of the day, you just can't beat deliciousness. One day later, we got another Insta post, this time from user Darcy Karpiuk, who took a shot with her family in front of the Somerville County Sheriff's Office. This is the first time we got the name of the location for the Ghostbusters movie, confirming it is going to be in Oklahoma and not New York City. On August 5th, TMZ posted their set of exclusive photos of the Ecto-1, which were taken actually on August 1st, but for some reason it took 5 days to post on their website. The pictures were taken in Alberta, and the article said filming was expected to take place in the small town of Crossfield, and added 2 locations aside from the driving scenes, a school and a Chinese restaurant. We already talked about a school being used to film in last month's video, but the Chinese restaurant is news to us. However, the Ecto-1 and filming were only scheduled for a few days in Crossfield, and they're expected to move on to the next location not too long after the article is published. But we'll come back to that in a minute. On August 6th, Sci-Fi Wire released a new interview with Ernie Hudson, promoting his appearances on the CW's Arrow and Cartoon Network's Infinity Train. There, he was asked about the new film, but he was still unable to really give us much info about it.
I'd love to be a part of it, but no matter what, Jason, I have total respect and love, and I appreciate his work. In fact, he's working with his dad, Ivan. I know it's going to be a great movie. I'd love to be a part of it. If it doesn't happen, just want the fans to know that it's not because of me. I keep reading that everybody else is like, oh, well, you know, Sigourney signed up. I'm like, really? I'm going to be here when it's... So we'll see.
However, on that same day, Ernie was at the unboxing toy convention in Mexico, and YouTuber Emilius X31 recorded his panel, where Ernie was asked about the new movie. He couldn't say much about it, but he did have this to say about what he hoped for Winston, which may have accidentally leaked a little info about whether or not Winston will show up.
I know that Winston has become very successful, that much I know. And so I'd like to see him be kind of the head of the original movie before the script changes. Winston was the guy who kind of ran things. That all went out the window in there. So I'd like to see Winston back in that position.
However, this would not be the last time we would hear from Ernie Hudson this month, as we fast forward to August 28th, where Ernie did a shout out on the Cameo app for a very lucky user. In this video, Ernie told the birthday boy they were shooting the new movie now, and essentially said he was involved. At least kinda sorta.
We're shooting the new Ghostbusters right now, coming out next summer, so I'm hoping that you'll enjoy it as much as the other movies that we've done. I know that I'm having a blast doing them.
His wording is still a bit ambiguous in my opinion, but many are jumping to the conclusion that this means Ernie is in the new film based on this. I think until we actually hear him flat out say he's in the movie and uses those words, it's still up for debate. Is this cameo appearance enough evidence for you guys out there? Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. On August 7th, Canadian news site The Drumheller Mail announced to the public that shooting was going on for the movie in their town. Economic Development Manager Sean Wallace called it the biggest production to ever happen in their town. On August 13th, the same site posted some pics of the production and added that the town has been transformed into Summerville, Oklahoma. The article explained how crews began working 1 week prior to the shoot to remove and replace signage along 3rd Avenue, and also talked about how they changed certain buildings to reflect what was needed for the scenes. This included adding a doctor's office and a post office in the corner of Center Street, and I also heard they had a taco store and a few other things. They also wrote that filming would also take place in Crossfield, which we already knew about, but we didn't know about a town called Biskler, which I hope I'm saying correctly, but if I'm not, we'll find out in about a month when they film there. But really, the nicest piece of news we got from this source was how McKenna Grace met a fan named Bailey Waters. Bailey, a 15-year-old Ghostbusters superfan who also has autism, waited with her mother Bonita to gift the drawing of the Ghostbusters logo and a toy Ecto-1 to McKenna. The two spent 30 minutes chatting with each other, and it sounds like they both had a great time. So way to go, Bailey, on meeting one of the stars. On August 9th in Calgary, a fan named Sean Stickle recorded his own footage of the Ecto-1 on the road driving around town and posted it on his Facebook page. He also got to meet Dan Aykroyd and took a few on-set photos, including the Ecto-1, and a great shot of that stop sign we saw that Jason posted earlier, but this time much clearer. In fact, this shot looks like it had a bite taken out of it. Is Slimer joining the cast as well, or is this a different hungry ghost? There were also pictures of a slimed bench and a local sheriff's car, but we'll come back to that one in a few. He also shot a few pics of some of the other fake businesses set up for the movies in town, including a plumber and a thrift store. So thank you for doing that, Sean. Later that same night, Instagram user Missa Woods recorded this quick video of the Ecto-1 in motion in Fort Macleod. On August 10th, the CBC News posted pics of the Ecto-1, again in Fort Macleod. This part of southern Alberta was transformed into a Midwestern American town, and some great footage was shot of the Ecto-1 in action, along with local onlookers enjoying the production. According to the Lethbridge Herald, another local news source, 2 spots in Fort Macleod were used, and production crews shut down 2nd Avenue between the highways and 24th Street. Location manager Laszlo Urich added no stars were present for that day, since all scenes were being done with doubles and stunt performers. However, knowing what we know now about McKenna, as well as something else we're going to see in a few moments, we know that some of the stars were present for certain scenes later on. On August 11th, our friend Holistic Mashed Potatoes took some more shots of the Ecto-1, this time revealing a new addition to the car. It's being called a suicide door, and seems to be a door that opens to reveal a seat with a proton pack on it. It also appears that Finn Wolfhard is in the driver's seat, meaning that McKenna Grace may be the one using the proton gun. This is a very cool reveal, and I look forward to seeing how this one pans out. It's almost a throwback to the old Kenner Ecto-1 toy, with the mounted proton gun chair on top of the car. August 14th gave us a huge piece of news as well, as Geeks Worldwide dropped the story that actor Bokeem Woodbine has joined the cast of Ghostbusters 2020. His character will be Sheriff Domingo, although not much is known about what the part will entail beyond name and occupation. Bokeem can be seen in Spider-Man Homecoming, where he played Shocker, as well as Fargo, Snowfall, and Unsolved, the murder of Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. He will also be in the upcoming Halo series in 2021. We've seen photos of the sheriff's office as well as his car now, so it's going to be a pretty important role. But whether he's going to be a friend or a foe to Ghostbusters remains to be seen. On August 21st, a piece of news that indirectly affects the new movie popped up. On this day, Sony announced that Hasbro was named the master toy licensee for Ghostbusters. Hasbro currently makes Star Wars, Transformers, Power Rangers, and Marvel Legends figures, among other things. This is also the company that bought Kenner in the 90s, which was the company that made the original figures for the real Ghostbusters cartoon. Now this matters because their press release announcing this news directly mentioned the new movie, which means there will be some kind of action figure tie-in for the 2020 version, as well as perhaps some retro-style figures of the RGB toys. So stay tuned to this site in February when our extensive New York Toy Fair coverage happens, as we are bound to see something concrete and I'm sure very cool by then. On August 26th, we got another post from TMZ, this time back in Drumheller. We can see a bunch of different locations and businesses here, although which if any were used is a mystery. They also obtained some more photos of the Ectomobile being worked on at a place named Shorty's Garage in Crossfield. These new pics, that were shot much earlier in August, gave them more details in some of the rural areas used for filming, including a spooky-looking house and barn. The farm was built for the movie, and the rumor is that this barn belongs to either Bankman or Stantz according to TMZ, with the Ecto-1 being stored there for the past 30 years rusting away, adding more credence to that working title of Rust City. We also got some pictures with a local Ghostbusters franchise hanging out on set, and just who were those Ghostbusters? Those were the Calgary Ghostbusters, and they were having a ton of fun taking pics with the Ecto-1 and hanging out on set, meeting everybody. Bustin' makes them feel good. They also took a few better shots of the car, so here's a look at some of those. Am I jealous of them? Oh, you know I am. And finally, on August 28th, Entertainment Tonight posted a clip with Finn Wolfhard from the red carpet premiere of It Chapter 2 in Hollywood, and gave a brief quote about how the movie has been coming along.
Really excited. It's genuinely a really beautiful film. I'm really excited for people to see it. It's really faithful.
Finn seems to be a true Ghostbusters fan, and if he says it's faithful to the original, then that's a positive sign for sure. So that is all the Ghostbusters 2020 news for August 2019, and I think this is the biggest video we've done in this entire series. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please smash that like button and ring the bell so you can get notifications for when our next video goes live. Stay tuned for next month's news as filming is continuing, and I'm sure there's going to be some real big pieces of info that happen in September. So until then, I'm Matthew from Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching.